You know, every 2 or 3 months we just get an incredible build thrown in our laps, and Doug Darby has this just amazing hobby trailer, toy hauler for his helicopters. Well, he contacted us, and Rotorcraft RC once again stepped up to the challenge. We built this amazing creation for Doug's trailer. Doug had a huge hand in helping us out. Him and I talked multiple times on the phone. I was emailing him pictures. He was giving me his opinion. He threw in some really neat twists and turns as we were designing this. So we cut this out of the new material that we're working with. It's a copoly material. It's a lighter weight material. It works great for our charge decks. As we got to doing some test assembly, we realized that this material was not going to stand up to what we were wanting to do with Doug's trailer. So just like any other big project, I will throw it in the trash and start over. We made a couple tweaks, and then we recut the entire project out of the Type 1 material that we used to use. Now, we kind of drifted away from using this material because of weight issues. But this is going inside of a toy hauler. It's going to be mounted to a wall and sitting on a bench. We're not really worried about weight. So I'm really happy that we made the change. Some of the seams, we used old techniques from when I used to do cabinet work to clamp this stuff together. Once we got these seams welded, this thing was a tank. I mean, literally, I think we could set the trailer on top of it and it wouldn't go anywhere. Definitely a good choice going back to the Type 1 material. So a couple little hiccups that we run into. To match Doug's trailer, we used a yellow vinyl, and we realized we could see the gray behind it. So we had to do a primer and get part of that gray color out of there that wouldn't bleed through the yellow. Once we started getting all that done, well, you can see in the final product, almost every choice that we made came out perfect. So wrapping it was pretty straightforward until we realized we have this seam in the middle. This was perplexed me a little bit, but I worked through it. I figured it out. I just clamped a straight edged and ran a knife across there, and I got as good a seam as I could possibly get done with what I had to work with. Now, because I don't do wrapping every single day with these complex corners and stuff like that, it took me a little bit longer, about 5 hours to wrap it. But now it's the part that I like, the fitting and the wiring. Man, y'all know when I get the wiring, it's I put my earbuds on and I go to So in this case, there's two Meanwell power supplies. So we went with two 93mm fans and even put in a 93mm squirrel cage fan up in the top so heat can't linger around. So between these three fans, we're gonna move a lot of air. Two Meanwells, amplifier, and just a whole bunch of electronics in here. We wanna make sure everything's cool. So I did some aluminum nutserts and just decided that I was going to go ahead and order steel ones. So we drilled out the aluminum ones and replaced them all with steel. And man, once we started fitting everything in here, it came out exactly like it was done on the plans. Everything is like a quarter of an inch from everything else. Just everything fits so tight, but we utilized 100% of the room of this case. Everything fit perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now some of our custom cables came in, and now the best part, the audio test.
Birds flying high, you know how, and I'm feeling good.
If you think it sounded good recording on an iPhone, you gotta hear this thing in person. Just stellar audio. That's what you call hi-fi. So just like all of our other big builds, things changed. We had a metal foil on here just to make it look like it should to match the trailer. But then at IRCHA 2018, Joe and Travis Rays met up with Doug, and they just made this thing perfect. I want to give a big shout out to those guys, and I'm sure Doug was really happy with the turnout for everybody coming to look at it. And thanks, Doug, for the videos that you sent us. Man, I can always count on the ninjas to take an incredible build and just make it that much better. And I keep on climbing up. And And then Doug did a really nice install. So we shipped this to him. He made all these pigtails. He made custom cables that comes out of the power of his trailer and goes into the box. Now, after having just an insane build get destroyed in shipping, it wasn't happening here. We wrapped this thing up with 150 foot of bubble wrap and put it in a ginormous box full of foam. Guess what? It made it to him unhurt. Rock on. So this is the before picture, and then this is what's sitting in the trailer. So everybody asked me, why is it yellow? Now you know.